You're muted, sir.
Yeah. Now I will talk about the interview. So how much experience you have in total?
Sir, I have 9 months of I would say 9 months until now. But then while I was giving my interviews, it was 7.5 months.
And I'm sorry, I forgot to
So
ask you how many calls you have because A convert ho gaya, then I forget about baki sab jane do, but what other calls you had?
I had like every call, sir. I had from IM A, B, C, and then all the baby IMs, FMS as well.
Wow, wow, wow. And how about B?
Yeah.
You converted B?
Sir, B ka waitlist hua hai, but I hope it will be managed. But then what I prefer is A
बस करो
as compared to B.
शर्म करो हो गया अभी वेट मत करो don't wait that obviously that feels give a kick that once you converted all the three then it even though you're going to A only but you still keep waiting कि नहीं वो convert होना
Yes, sir, true. So you're again muted.
yeah, yeah. I'm muting myself when I'm going to
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, sure.
So actually, I'm having my food as well with this. So I have to mute when I'm having my food.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So was your less experience a problem in the interview? Because go to Quora, go to anywhere, there are people putting negativity around that because I had less work experience, I could not convert. I have no experience. So were in any of the interviews they put you under pressure because of that?
Sir, first thing I want to negate is that having not having work experience will have a negative effect on interview. That's completely untrue, sir. It all depends on how we do in the interview. In fact, I would say IMA has around 40% of freshers, which means that people who are actually giving and converting are 40% freshers, which means that should not be a problem, sir. And for me especially, it has never been a problem. As I've told earlier, since my domain of work is electric vehicles, they were not focused on how many months I worked, but then rather what I have learned during those small number of works. And what is my perspective when it comes to per se, for example, in IIM interview, I would give an example, sir. In IIM interview, I was asked this question about simulations. So they asked my perspective as compared to a common man's who has not done a simulation earlier. So this particular perspective is something that we gain through WorkX. Even without WorkX, we can gain it through different articles, by reading, by going through journals. So that should not be a problem at all, sir. WorkX should not be a problem. It's all that we need to have confidence in ourselves, and we need to be prepared for things. So go through the academic background things and have a good perspective on different things going around. That's it, sir. And do
Exactly.
it.
Exactly
Yeah.
my point here. If freshers are not selected, why 30% of the batch at IIM Ahmedabad have no experience? If the people with work ex are not selected, why 30% of the batch have more than 3 years of work experience? So it's all excuse. Yeah. जिसका नहीं होना, we always put the excuse of the other party. My one of my things which I've not done, मेरा work ex नहीं था, my acad was low, my this and that. So it's all depend on how you give answer in the interview here.
Yes, sir. That's
It's
true.
all depend on that. Okay. My next question is: was in any of the interview you were given a stress situation? Like earlier, A and C used to be a stress interview, like they want to kill you kind of thing. But now, for the last couple of years, they have toned down their aggression. They're no more giving you questions which are
Yes, sir.
putting on stress.
Hmm.
Any kind
Hmm.
of situation you have faced during the interview?
Okay, with respect to IMA interview, sir, I would say no, because it was not a stressful interview, but then it was more of an analytical interview wherein they try to find my analysis skills and then go deeper into a particular topic. Whereas when it comes to the C interview, it was little stressful in the second half of the part because they started grilling me on the mathematical concepts of mine. So the questions were asked fine, and I could answer many of the questions as well, but then they started negating each of the points that I've told, and they made it little stressful as well. And some of the current affairs also, when I answered, they made it, or they wantedly made it stressful, saying that what you are saying is definitely wrong. you may have to check these things, please go through the current affairs and all. So this is something that might happen with any of the interviews, sir, but one should be prepared to handle these things. So we can politely reject, say, negate by saying that, sorry sir, this is something that I have known, and I strongly believe that this is true to my knowledge. So something like these words will make us calm, as well as will not be aggressive in during the interviews. So these things people have to take care, so during the PI preparation after the CAT.
Superb. So you believe your content is a king. Your content was so strong, your knowledge base was so strong, which helped you convert these calls.
Yes, sir. Content was my perk, and it actually helped me in different interviews. Except for one or two interviews, for example, MDI people, they asked me a lot about my profile, my academics, my background, and all. But then they tried to persuade me to opt for some other higher studies instead of MBA, and that is something little bit stressful and challenging for me. But I think I had done well, sir. I was hoping to persuade you when you have good academic profile in the background. For example, if you are a 9 pointer during the graduation, and if you have good academics, there is a high chance that they talk, why don't you go for MS, why don't you go for MS in economics? So many things come up, so we just have to be prepared with these questions, sir. Have a proper idea why are we doing MBA, and then that will
Right,
be
right.
fine.
What is your background? Are you engineer, non-engineer?
I'm an engineer, sir. I'm
Engineer.
an engineer from NIT Calicut.
NIT Calicut. So this question is a perennial question. Why not MTech? Why MBA? This
Yes, sir.
question is like kind of always there. यार
Yeah.
उनका भी सोचो ना. You are hitting on a girl. The first question she's gonna ask you, okay, why me? Why not some other girl? So same thing here.
Yeah,
Why MBA? Why not MTech or why not MS? So
true,
this
true, sir.
answer have to be better. Any engineer watching this video, guys, you have to have a foolproof answer for this thing. What was your answer for that, if you don't
Yes, sir.
mind sharing? Why not masters, MTech, MS, why MBA?
Yes, sir. So I had this idea of, doing entrepreneurship in the future, but this is something that most of the times sounds cliche. But my approach was little different. My entrepreneurship ideas started with my early days of graduation, wherein I started taking up different projects, and I got interested in technical stuff. So I told them that I wanted to explore this electric vehicles field in the respect of management, and try to bring up something new in the market, so that it will benefit both the society and the company. So they were okay. I mean, there were no follow up questions for that.
Superb, 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 superb. So, what advice you would like to give to students? Okay, like obviously, our public there's an image of an MBA. The moment you imagine MBA, mean he must be 6 foot tall and then very smart and talk very good in English. Will have very good academic record and this and that. Obviously, nobody can be a perfect human being. So, what
So
advice you would like to give to students who are preparing for MBA? I personally feel you are a role model for everyone. Okay, yaar, you are along with a job, you handle your studies as well. Fine, everything, you are kind of a mix of everything. So what advice you like to give, what they should do? Suppose I've got the calls for my interviews, how should I start my preparation?
okay, sir. So first of all, I would like to thank for your compliment. And nextly, so to all the students who have cleared the CAT and waiting for this PA preparation, so what I would say is, first of all, have confidence. Never lose confidence. That is because when you lose confidence, you tend to give wrong answers, and you tend to get persuaded by the people. So not to lose confidence is one thing, and next is have a good grip, a solid answer for why are we doing an MBA. I mean, most of it's not mandatory that people will ask this question in the interview, but if it comes up, you should be able to make the people understand, the other person, interviewer, understand that you are doing this for a purpose, for a betterment of the society, as well as you, and as well as the college. This is secondly, and the third one is have a good a grip on all the things happening around, sir. Yeah. So these are the three basic stuff that one has to follow to ace an interview. In fact, I would say, sir, in my IIMA interview, there was no such question of why MBA. It was more of analytical. They gave me different case studies kind of situations, and they asked me what I would be doing in that particular case, how would I be looking at that situation. So as I've told earlier, our thought process also matters. So be confident on your thought process. It might or might not influence the interviewer, but just be confident, it will surely have an effect in some of the other interview. Yeah.
True, true, true. Can you give me example of the case study which was asked in IIM Ahmedabad? Any sample case? But is it like
Yes, sir.
that
So
kind of a DM question?
no, sir, not actually a decision making question. I would say it's something. Okay, I'll give you the question itself, sir. So, as I've done this electric vehicle stuff during my work experience, so he gave me a situation wherein a car is actually going with a high speed, and it is suddenly met with a accident. So before actually meeting with the accident, just a second before that, what is the analysis that you will make with respect to the failures of the vehicle? So since I have this background of vehicles thing, so this is something that was given to me. So I took some pause. I took for around 20 seconds pause. I thought like, what are all the points that I can say? Then I told like, sir, these are the defects, these are the things. I explained him my whole thought process. That is something that we have to show. So just showing up is also important. You have to make them feel that we are actually doing this analytical process in our head. So just show up things. Don't hide anything. Be frank and open.
So it's more like a situation. Suppose you are an
Yes,
entrepreneur.
sir.
Or for entrepreneur, there might be that your business is about to fail or a project is about to fail. So what you will do before that kind of thing? Superb, superb,
Yes,
superb.
sir. Yes.
Great, yeah. Thank you, Teja. Thank you very much for coming and talking to us. And hopefully you do well at IIM Ahmedabad as well. And hopefully I'll see you at IIM Ahmedabad, probably in August or September. I have a course coming up which I'm going to do at IIM Ahmedabad.
Oh, sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All the
actually,
best.
no, my father referred your videos initially. During my starting work experience, I was finding a little difficult in finding motivation. So he once sent me through WhatsApp your video, and I felt very joyful. I mean, it was very funny. It was very motivating. Then I started subscribing you, and then started following your videos. It really helped me, sir. So guys, just follow sir's videos, and you'll be really in a good position.
Thank
That's what
you.
I can say.
Thank you, Teja. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you,
All
sir.
the best. All the best.